All right, so we are going to be going over here 13.3. So let's take a look at 13.3. Again, for those of you at home, we're just trying to make sure reminders about finishing up 13.1 and 2. If you didn't, those videos are up and online for us. Okay, so we're preparing some payroll tax reports. We've been dealing with payroll, which is great, and you guys have been dealing with it for a while, getting organized. A lot of our information comes from the payroll register. And so we need to be able to give some reports because our employees need to have some information for us so that they understand where their money is, how much money they have, how much money's been taken out, because they got to fill out their taxes. It's not only for us, but it's also for our employees. All right, so W-2 is a tax form that some of you have been familiar with. There's 4 copies prepared for the W-2 now. And I think this is a test question study guide thing, so it's not like a memorized thing. But your employer gets a couple. They send one to the Social Security Administration. They keep one for their records. Obviously, it's done on computers, so they always have it on their records. They also will give the employees access to them. Like, so I get them mailed, and I also have access on my Urbandale employee teacher hub thing, whatever. Okay. That we can, so then I can send this in, and when I do my taxes, I have it, and I also have a copy online. Okay, so this W-2 form is a form that the employer has to get to all the employees and report of their withholdings, what they've taken out of their check. Okay, and this is going to be done for the W-2. It needs to be done by January 31st. It has to be done. Okay, because you you have to give your employees time to finish their taxes and set up a tax appointment. A lot of times it's done before then, but it has to be done. It has to be furnished within 30 days of last employment, and it has to be given to them by January 31st. And that is for like all of last year. So 2020, when I worked, you get your taxes taken out, you get withholdings by January 31st. I need to have that in my possession. You almost always have it well before, but they have to give it to you by then. Okay, and it's just W-2, shows your wages, taxes withheld, all the pertinent information, address, name, employee number, things like that. Some of you that have worked, some of you guys have had a W-2, probably. You've worked, yeah. Yep. So this is just to let you know, yes, it's something. The W-2 is a form that all your employer gives to all employees. They have to give it within 30 days of your last employment or by January 31st. It's done for tax purposes, shows all your wages and all the withholdings. Okay, that's a quick summary. This is the big guy. This is the form that we're going to be filling out. We are not going to spend, I'll make it bigger. I don't even know if that helps, but we're not going to spend a ton of time on this. I will tell you that we will fill out this form together here in about 5 minutes. Okay, quarterly tax return information. It'll have your employee identification number, address. It'll say if it's a quarterly report for what quarter, January quarter, quarter 3, 4. We'll fill that out. Then we'll fill out this form, and it'll tell us how many employees we have, how much wages you made, how much taxes have been taken out. We will fill all these forms out. The wages you make times 12.4. Do you understand what 12.4 is? So Social Security tax, if the Social Security tax is 6.2%, otherwise known as 0.062, but if we have to pay for you, the employee, and then the employer has to match it, so we add that together, and that equals that 12.4. So when we are filling out our withholdings, that's why we take all the wages that are Social Security wages times 12.4. Okay. The same is true when they talk about taxable Medicare, Medicaid, this 0.029. We take That's that 1.45%, which is 0145. So if you add 0145 together, you get that 029, I think is what they say. Okay, so that's why we're multiplying those. Those are the only two we will multiply twice, one, because we're taking it out of the employees of ours, and then we match it, okay? So you'll find those numbers out. We're gonna do a work together that'll help you clarify it. You'll add a couple of these lines together, line 3, line 5. You just have to read line 3 plus 5. And then you'll carry some down because we're keeping it pretty simple. Okay, and then, well, then down below, we will do this monthly report. We'll put the abbreviation. We'll say if we're in this one or this one, we're a monthly scheduler, and we will do the month for each quarter. And we'll get directions, and I'll show you how to do all that. Okay, so don't worry about it. I'll kind of help you out with that. I don't want to say it's not important, but it's just a form that we got to fill out that we'll do together and to work together. Okay. All right. Preparing employers' quarterly federal tax return. That's what that form is. What this is a quarterly employee tax return. So this page talks about it. The law periodically asks government to report if you make certain amount of money, a certain amount of employees, you might have to do quarterly reports, monthly reports, annual reports, all these different types. Okay. But you want to show the government how many taxes you withhold from your employees, Social Security, Medicare, things like that. This 949 quarterly report is done, and we file it with the government. So all these steps is how we're going to fill this out, but it's hard to show because you got one page with the form, one page over here with all these steps. So like, how do they get these quarterly reports? This is the amount of the sum of the fourth quarter total earnings. I will show you what that means. Probably doesn't mean much to you until you do it. And that's why we got to do the work together. The total amount of the fourth quarter federal income tax withhold. They will give us these numbers, and we'll have to do some adding and subtracting. This part's what I talked about just before. That 12.4% tax rate is the sum of the employee and the employer matching it. Just like the 2.9 is the 1.45 of the employee and employer matching it. Then it tells you, so, and again, I'm not really going step by step through this because we need like 2 screens. We need this screen to show you step 1, step 2, step 3, and then the other screen to do it. But we're just going to do it all together and the work together. Okay. You'll have to, again, put some information down, and then the monthly depositor, we'll call it monthly deposits. When you deposit a tax, is kind of what they talk about and how they do it. So we will walk through this quarterly tax return, and that is what our work together and that problem is. Okay. Our annual reporting of payroll taxes, you have the company name. All right. This is a 941 W3. You got all these different information, who's the person in charge of it. You have different wages, taxes withheld. This is the president, whatever the case may be. Your W3 reports the prior earnings, payroll tax withheld for all employees. Employers with 250 more employees need to fill W2 and W3s out. At the end of the calendar year, employers must report to federal government summary of all earnings for the 12 months. Again, do you have to have all this memorized? Absolutely not. That's why we're using our, you got ability to go back. What is the main deal? Main idea, you need to get your employees a W2 for their time worked so they can pay their taxes. It's an official document. You need to be able to show that to the government. You also need certain businesses will be filling out quarterly reports. And that's what our problem will be. Okay. And then the government also might ask you to fill out an annual report of all your wages, all your taxes for all your employees. W3 report. Okay. Do you have to have that memorized? No, because we have the ability to go back and look. There's nothing on the agriculture thing, and that's it. But really the work together is a lot of our learning. We're gonna fill out the quarterly federal tax report return right now. Okay. And so I'll keep this video going for those people online. They can just jump in right away with us. And we will walk through the working papers of 13.3. Okay. And you'll need a calculator or your phone ready so we can do these things. All right, so here's the deal. We have this information up top. It says total earnings. We will be adding these numbers up. Remember, this is a quarterly tax return. So we will sometimes add up columns. Sometimes for monthly things, we'll add these up. Sometimes we'll have to multiply by 2, add this number up, put it on a form. So there's just different things we got to do. The first thing is the very top of this quarterly federal tax return. Okay, so it says the employee identification number, which is given to us here, 70. I don't know how I'm supposed to type this out. I think it's 7084. I've never done this part. 8625. Name. This is the company Concept Designs. No trade name. Address says 12043. And this is just all right above, right? Washington Street. You guys know where Naperville is? Suburb west of Illinois. Zip code 60540. Tab 14158. All right, so what kind of quarter is this? January, February, March. You see that on the dates here? So January, February, March. Go down here and we will click report for quarter 1. Right here where it says quarter 1. And you're just getting that information up here in the directions. Everybody okay filling out Naperville, Illinois, zip code, quarter 1? It's all from up here. It's all from up in your direction. And yep, type that out. Okay, so we fill that part out. This is the first quarter. We're pretty sure about. You're just going to need the state abbreviation and then the zip code. Okay, and quarter 1 needs to be highlighted. All right. So you're going to take now this information up here, and we're going to be starting to fill this information out. Step 1, yep, quarter 1 there, because we're in January. Okay. Step 1, it says number of employees, 8. How do we know this? In our instructions, we have the company has 8 employees. So we put 8 there. Okay, wages, tips, earnings, okay, other compensation. Up here, this is our total earnings, right? So when you take the calculator out and you type in 11,640 plus 11,900 plus 12,100, you get 35,640. We added these 3 total earnings for January, total earnings for February, total earnings for March that you have paid. And that's supposed to be 3,000, sorry. Hit the wrong number. 35,640, 35. You guys all understand where you get that number? Okay. Income tax withheld from the employee's check. Well, here's income tax, right? So you add 698 plus 718 plus 728, and you get 2,144. So to get those first two lines, you just added up the quarter's earnings, the pay that you had that people earned, and then the tax that you withheld. So far, so good? Okay. Now, taxable Social Security wages. We're saying all these wages, it's the first quarter, none of them are over their 7,000, so everything's taxable earnings. So we put 35,640 here. Now, why are we multiplying again by 12.4? Because we have to pay the Social Security for what we withheld plus what we owe them. We have to match it. So you put in your calculator 35,640 times 0.124, and you get 4,419.36. That's our Social Security wages. We don't have any tips that we need to tax, so we're not worrying about it. So now we put Medicare wages. It's the same thing. There is no tax base for Medicare. We're paying the full amount. Again, why isn't it 0.0145? Because we need to match it. We add those two up, what we had took out of there, employees check and what we did, and you come up with $1,033.56. This is employee and employer tax, Social Security, employee and employer Medicare. Five D, it says add column 2, line 5A, that's this, plus column 2, 5B, which is this, or C, I guess, sorry, B and C, and you get 5,452.92. Adding these two numbers up. We don't have any tips, so we're so far so good. Okay, now you can leave some of these things blank. They don't apply to us. Number of qualified employees, qualified paid exemptions. We don't have to worry about any of that. 6C, it says total taxes before adjustments. Okay, is line 3, which is up there, 2,144. So we type in 2,144. Then it says 5D plus 5,452.92. And then minus 6D, but we don't have any exemptions. Tells us we don't have any exemptions here. Okay, so ours is just line 3 plus line 5D. We're adding the income tax withheld plus all of our Social Security tax plus all our Medicare. If you think about what it is, this is employee income tax, this is Social Security, this is Medicare. We add them up, all right? So that number stays the same, 7,596.92. Adding those two numbers up. We have no quarterly adjustments, no adjustment for sick pay. Okay, we have nothing in 7. So line 8 is combine this to all the adjustments, so it's the same number. You guys won't have any adjustments. I don't know, do we need to put zeros in here, I wonder? Shoot, now I'm thinking about it. Nope, okay, good. Number 9, advanced earned income, that's extra stuff, no. Line 10, we're got it, like I said, we have a pretty basic total taxes after adjustments and EIC. We have no adjustments, we have no EIC, we have no qualified exemptions. We're just paying our employee tax, Social Security, and Medicare. Total deposits, including prior year quarterly overpayments. Total deposits mean total taxes. How much are we depositing to the government as our taxes? That's, we don't have any quarterly payments. Again, we always, this number it represents is our employee income tax plus Social Security times 2 and Medicare times 2. That's what this number represents. 12A was nothing. It won't take 0, so that's okay. We don't have any COBRA premiums. That's an insurance thing. And we don't have any exemptions. Wages are not something we are tips. So it says add lines 11, 12, 13 up, whatever. So that's still the same number. So we're just kind of going through them, typing the same number down. Okay. On your problem, if there is an exemption of some sort, I will tell you. If there is an advanced, COBRA thing, if there is a adjustment, I will let you know. Okay. So that's the first part. Next one down here, we are in Illinois. The return is not less than $2,500. We are on monthly scheduler, so we click monthly scheduler. And then it wants the tax liability. All right, so how do we figure this out? Well, way up here, it wants tax liability for each month, right? Here, 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 and then we add them up each month, and then we add them all up. So what is it? So this number, do you guys remember what this number represents? I can't highlight it, but this column represents your married chart, single chart, allowances chart. Employee income tax, this federal income tax withheld, that's what this represents. This column represents all your Social Security that you took off from the employee Medicare. So down here, they want us to summarize the monthly taxes. Well, you need to take $721.68 times 2. Okay, why? Because that's employee and we need to pay the employers also. So 721.68 times 2. You get 1,443.36. You then need to take the Social Security that you're holding out for employee, 168.78 times 2, and you get 337.56. Then you add 1,143.36 plus this number times 2, which is 337.56, and then you add it to the 698 that you withhold, and that number is 247,892. So if you wanted me to type it out, I can type it out for you. Give me a minute. So that's the number. If I can get you a Word document so you can at least see what I'm talking about, because it's not that hard. You just got to see it once, I think. All right. In theory, this will open in a second. All right. I gotta get that sheet back up. All right. Jeez. So we're taking 7. You don't need to do this. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. 729.68 times 2. I wrote down, I think, equals 1,443.36. Okay. Then you take 168.78 times 2 equals, what the heck? 168.78 times 2 equals 337.56. So then you add 144,336 plus 337.56 plus this 698 equals 2478.92. Okay. This is the Social Security employee and employer. And I guess I should blow that up so you can actually see it and make it worthwhile. This is the Social Security number of the employee. We have to multiply it by 2 for the employer. This is the number for Medicare. For the employee, we got to multiply 2 to match it. We add that number, Social Security, plus Medicare, plus our federal income tax that we withheld. We don't multiply that by 2. And this is your number that you place way down here. That is your monthly taxes. So you do the same thing for each of these guys. So then you do it again for the second month. 737.80 times 2, 172.55 times 2. Add those numbers to 718. You get another number, you get the third number, and you add all those up. 7596.92. So you got them separated by month here. You got them separated by month here, and then up top you have it all set up and combined up top. Do you guys understand how we got that first month? Yes? No? Yep. And then put commas on there. Okay. So that 7596.92 number that we kept typing on here, that is the total liability for the quarter. So those should match. The 796.92 that we have, the total number should match this. If all things are going well. Okay, you got about 10 minutes, 8 minutes. I would do my best to maybe finish 9.2 or maybe finish 9.1 or then go ahead and start working on 9.3. Whatever you want to do, you can take your time. We can give you, the first 15 minutes on what day do we meet? We meet Wednesday. Why don't we give you the first 15 minutes just to work? So that way we got, if you need time, great. If you don't, great. But that's what we'll do. All right.